Are you being yourself? That is, are you being your authentic self? If you are over age 50, you're contemplating reinventing yourself, starting over, doing something new with your life, you have got to start with the basics. And one of those basics is being yourself. I have 2 stories and a social media app that have taught me that I need to be myself, and I want to tell you about that in this video. Do you know the authentic you? Now, I retired in the ministry after 20 years serving churches, and one of the things that led me to reinvent myself upon retirement was the realization that I was not being myself. So let me explain a little bit. In terms of being a pastor, you think, oh, the pastor is going to be themselves, but it wasn't that way for me. I was trying so hard to get people to like me, but that really wasn't what it was about. It wasn't about people liking me. It was about doing what God was calling me to do and leading others. And it was really hard to constantly be on and be somebody who everybody liked. I'm going to tell you in a minute what happened there. Now, recently, since I have been in the reinventing process, I realized how important it is to be yourself and be real after looking at and joining a social media app that my son had recommended. And this app is called Be Real. Perhaps you've heard of it.
Now, Be Real was created a couple of years ago, and I think it came from France. And what it does is it focuses on the idea of authenticity. It asks users to be real. It doesn't have filters. You can't post videos. You can do a few emojis. You can respond. You can have comments on people's posts. But what happens is you get a notification once a day, and you don't know when that's going to be. So it could pop up at any time, and your notification will say, time to be real, 2 minutes left to capture a Be Real and see what your friends are up to. If you decide you don't want to post now, or if you want to post later, you can do that. However, if you don't post a video to your own Be Real account, you cannot see others Be Reals. Now, you can go back like I'm doing here. You can go back and look at your own post, but you can't see anybody else's. So you can't see what your friends are up to. Now, you can retake your picture if it doesn't work the first time, but it's going to show on there that you've retaken your picture. You have friends on Be Real, and you post and share and comment. You can also go to the discovery, which is right here where you're seeing now, and look at people from all over the world who are posting on Be Real. Now, I have to say, most of the people who post on Be Real are a whole lot younger than I am. But the main point of Be Real is to be real, be authentic, be yourself in posting on this social media app.
But what Be Real does is it takes a picture of wherever you are, what you're looking at, and then picture of you. Now, you can manipulate it a little bit. You can cover up the viewfinder or the camera when it comes to you or what you're doing. I mean, you can set it up. You can wait a couple of hours and do something and show something that you want people to see. But really, the intent is not to be always on, not to be always interested. I mean, think about all of the social media apps out there. There's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, and all of them have these filters. In fact, I just saw the other day about some filter that even if you don't have any makeup on, your hair's not done, it just glamours you up. And I thought, how fake is that? And how many times, even on Facebook, and people are over age 50 and they're posting these gorgeous pictures of family trips or meals or places they're going, traveling. And yet how much of that is real? How much of that is authentic to what is really going on in their lives? And it is just really amazing how people have learned to put on this persona that is not themselves. And I think we were all doing that before social media, but social media has really taught us to do that even more, to be somebody we're not. But I think it is so important, if you're going to reinvent yourself, is to be your authentic self, to be who you are. And let me tell you, Be Real has really taught me that. Recently, I think that I was complaining about something. Oh, I don't have makeup on, or I'm looking terrible, or whatever. And my son was like, well, that's the point of Be Real. Be Real is where you are at that moment. You don't have to glamorize yourself. You don't have to, be all pretty or fancy. And that leads me to my second story, which was I tried to film this video. Now, those of you who have watched my videos before know I have not posted a video in a very long time. I have not filmed a video in months, and there's a bunch of reasons about that, which I will go into in another video. But because I was doing this video and I wanted it to look a certain way, and I decided to wait till nighttime, and I got on myself all beautiful. I had all kinds of makeup on, and I was wearing a particular outfit and jewelry in my hair, and I got the room set up, and it took like an hour to even just set up the room. And I got down here and I was videoing, and I got done. Wasn't real happy with the video, but I was like, okay, whatever. For some reason, I had done like 3 seconds of videoing and then nothing else had recorded. And I was like, oh my gosh, here I am doing a video on being yourself and being authentic, but I'm not being myself and being authentic. And that sometimes is what YouTube does. It makes you seem like something that you are not. And so that just reiterated and reinforced the idea that I need to be myself in every way. And that sometimes is very hard, but I am trying. I think I shared maybe in my last video that was months ago that I was sort of back where I sort of started when I first felt a call to the ministry. And I felt like, am I really being myself? Am I really changed? But I have, because even then I think I was trying to be somebody I was not. I was trying for everybody to like me. And I've learned I just have to be myself. And people don't like me. People don't like me. And, not that it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. And I think half the time people are so concerned about themselves that are really not thinking about you, and they're not thinking about whether they like you or not. So I shouldn't really worry about that, and you shouldn't either. And that brings me back to my first story that I was telling you about. In the ministry, when I was trying to be somebody I was not, I was trying to be liked. Here's what happened. I was unhappy. I was burned out. I realized I needed to get out of the ministry because it was not a healthy place for me. And even though I was trying to make sure everybody liked me, you know what happened when I retired? A lot of people did not like me. I made enemies left and right. I did things wrong left and right. I can go back and I can tell you what the changes I should have done, or, looking back and feeling guilty and all those kinds of things. But let me tell you, the whole thing came down to trying to get people to like me rather than doing the right thing and being myself. So even though I was trying hard, it really backfired on me. And I think that sometimes that's what happens in our lives. Not only are we miserable, but we also make people around us miserable because they don't like who we are, or they don't accept us who we are because we're being fake. And there are some people that can spot people who are being fake right off the bat, and some people can. Now, I can't say that I wasn't myself at all at any time in the ministry or in my life, but I'm just saying the majority of the time I was trying to be likable and not trying to be Amelia. If you are trying to reinvent yourself, you have got to be yourself. Now, there are many ways to be yourself, and the first thing you have to do is to stop judging yourself and stop saying, oh, you didn't do that right, you didn't do that correctly, or you did something and people aren't going to like it. Stop that judgment, stop that self-criticism, and just accept yourself as the way you are, and just be you. Follow your instinct. When you are trying to put on a persona that's that's not you. That isn't who you are. One of the things I love to tell myself is, if I were my friend, what would I tell myself to do in this instant? How would I tell myself to act or react? And that's usually a good way to say, okay, I'm not being myself. I need to change. I hope this video has taught you to be yourself. If you want to know a little bit about what I've been struggling with the last few months, check out this video here. Have a great one.